Okay. Anytime you're ready.
You start.
Okay. Hey, Reed, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you, Dad?
I'm fine.
Okay.
Great. That's pretty good as a start since we haven't done this this is June. And the last time we did it was the first week of March.
Yeah.
So, sorry, fans. But we're back.
Mm-hmm. In person.
Yeah. Face to face.
Mm-hmm.
In
IRL, as they say in the biz.
Is that's what they say?
I don't know. That is a
would
thing
know.
People say.
Okay, well, welcome home. How's your so what's new?
For
the listening audience, since it's been a minute.
I'm done with school for this summer.
Okay. Good qualifier.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I'll be a senior next year. But right now I'm kind of doing nothing.
Well, yeah, you just got home, so nothing is pretty appropriate.
Yeah. Well, I'm doing stuff, just not like stuff that other people are telling me to do.
That's pretty good.
Like teachers or...
Yeah. Do you know that Pink Floyd song, Another Brick in the Wall?
Yeah.
We don't need no education.
That's Pink Floyd? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Have you been playing that loud?
No. I'm mainly listening to Noah Kahan stuff and those kinds of vibes.
Okay.
But
is that which one is that?
That's like Stick Season, that album I played for you.
Okay.
He did a cover of If We Were Vampires,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's who I thought it was. But I didn't want to say and embarrass myself because once we hit record, we're just no turning back.
Yeah.
We should have some abrupt, sudden stop. And then
yeah, just cut
sound.
mid-sentence.
Yeah.
And then
we never stop what we're doing. Okay, so welcome home.
Thanks.
And now we get to do this right, I suppose.
Yeah.
And this is episode 20.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of it's kind of a ceremonious. That's a big number. Yeah. The second set of 10 has been completed with this episode. So let's get started. We thought we would do a review after checking in.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else to check in on? There's no mail. 3 months and no mail.
Oh. We even told Mom to send us mail and she didn't send us mail.
Yeah, you spelled out the email address.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's okay. We came up with content for this episode.
Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's been so long. I feel like there should be some other thing I should be asking you about before what we're about to review.
I don't know.
I usually ask something like, did you learn anything this week?
This week?
Or recently?
No. Did you learn anything this week?
I've been teaching with a friend of mine and teaching with teachers or for teachers. So I can't really say what I've learned, but I'm learning a lot because it's always just really an interesting group of people to work with teachers for a week.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing. And then, trying to push through those kinds of projects and then some summer stuff. More to talk about later.
Yeah.
So, so we've got in mind, speaking of later, we've talked about another 10 questions episode.
Mm-hmm.
And then another music review episode.
Yeah.
Okay, we're committed to it now since we don't edit out anything on our recording.
You don't edit out anything on the recording.
Yeah.
And I don't touch it, so.
Well, we can if you want to learn, I'm happy to show you.
I did do a whole podcast for a project in school, so
That's
I kind of
right.
did it.
Right.
More editing than what you do.
Yeah, I just push a few balancing buttons and then some things that take out really long pauses, but we still have plenty of pauses.
Yeah. That's okay. It's for pacing.
Yeah. But that's pretty much all I do. So, yeah. So is that a lot of work?
Yeah. It was interesting because it's like that class was, it's supposed to be like a like prep course for writing my history thesis next year.
Right. Good idea.
Which was it's gonna be like a 20-page paper basically. And so for some reason our professor decided to have us do a podcast instead of write a paper like what we're going to have to do for the project, even though I don't know.
Yeah, you want to mix it up.
Yeah.
That's a what we call in the business a high impact educational experience.
Okay.
I won't cut out that pause because that was a really effective pause.
Yeah.
Or an HIEE.
He.
Yeah. 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 So someone probably thought, oh yeah, a podcast that will really get your learning to really gel. Probably it was interesting.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
I had some problems with that class, but it's done now, so it's fine.
Okay. Great. Okay. So we'll check back in about school and projects and stuff like that.
Okay.
As time goes on. And so there's a few teasers about things to look forward to, future episodes. But for now, you want to announce what we're doing?
Oh, we are reviewing the show that we have referenced a lot.
Yeah.
On this podcast, Ted Lasso.
It's hard to believe we haven't actually done a review.
Yeah. We just talked about it a lot.
Right. So now that it's done.
Allegedly done.
Okay, that can be a topic of conversation.
Okay.
So now that there's been 3 seasons that seem to have culminated into a final conclusion, with some amount of spoilers, we're kind of reviewing the whole thing.
Yeah. So if you haven't watched Ted Lasso, probably stop listening to this episode.
Or go watch Ted Lasso, because what's wrong with you?
Go watch Ted Lasso, then come back and listen to this podcast.
Yeah. Invest 30 hours of viewing. It'll be worth it.
It's the best 30 hours of your life. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know your life.
Yeah. For some people, could be.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. So there's that to consider. But I suspect like we could review it as though someone who hasn't seen the show could be convinced whether or not they want to see it, but we'll have spoilers. But probably this is for people who have watched the show who just need our expert opinion about what's good about it.
Yeah, well, I think we've already promoted it a lot for people who haven't watched the show and trying to convince them to watch it. Then maybe we should make content for the other people too.
Yeah. Okay. So they can thank us after this for having provided such content.
Yeah.
Okay.
Send your thanks and all that.
Yeah. We should get a Venmo account for tips.
Yeah. dearmouthsounds@gmail.com. Or that's
pretty
it.
much it.
That's all we have right now.
Go to the website.
If you would like to give us money on Venmo, that is something you can email us, and then maybe we'll set up a Venmo.
Sure.
I don't know.
Or just use your own. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're not counting on it. We're not holding our breath. So where do you want to start with this culminating review of everything that is Ted Lasso. 3 seasons. Guy shows up who coaches American college football and takes on a professional football soccer team.
Yeah.
And
in England.
Yeah. And then hilarity and feel good lessons ensue until just last week when we had the final episode of this season.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the premise.
Okay.
All of you people who have seen it.
Yeah, they all know that. Okay. So let's assume everyone's seen it because we're now giving everything away. Who's the best character in the show?
That's the hardest question.
Okay. Think about it.
Okay.
What was your biggest disappointment with the show?
Oh, God.
Okay. Well, if you want to ask a question, you're doing all the work here.
Well.
Okay. What do you like about the show?
I like the story and the messages. Okay, so it's just a show about like this guy kind of set up to fail.
Yep.
And then he just doesn't fail. And then also him like just providing a bunch of good lessons for people and helping create community and bonding, and just like everyone's able to grow. And it's like a story about, allowing people to change and changing for the better most of the time, not all the time.
But generally, like, given the opportunity, they eventually get better.
Yeah.
As people.
Yeah. And I like its message on masculinity. And like, cause you think, professional English football team, they're going to be like, everyone's going to be the season 1 Jamie Tart.
Yeah.
But then, most of them are not Jamie Tart, and people don't like season 1 Jamie Tart.
Right.
And Jamie Tart even learned to not like season 1 Jamie Tart.
Yeah.
And most of them are more like Sam or Danny Rojas.
Yeah.
Or Roy Kent.
Incredibly likable characters.
Yeah.
Okay. Who do you identify with most?
Or,
and you can go either way. Like, who do you identify with, or who do you want to be most? Or somehow connect to?
I don't know.
I mean, I recognize you're not Danny Rojas or
I'm not Danny
Coach
Rojas.
Beard or any of them, but it's kind of fun it's because they're all kind of made up.
Yeah, I think, okay, so Nina is definitely Danny Rojas.
Nina, our dog.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I love Danny Rojas for that reason. And then I think I identify with a little bit of all of them at different points. I think I want to be Roy Kent, but I think I am probably more of a Coach Beard. I don't know if I am Coach Beard. Maybe sometimes I'm Sam. Sometimes I'm Colin. I do love Colin. Maybe we're all a little bit of everyone.
It's like the Muppet Show.
Yeah.
Everything we like about the Muppet Show is that you see yourself in some more than others, but or Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
There's some kind of characterization that you identify with in all those.
Maybe because it's written by someone who loves the Muppets so much. Partially.
Oh, written. Yeah. Brett Goldstein.
Yeah.
He partially writes.
Mm-hmm. Like he started out as a writer and then just kind of wanted to be Roy. So they said okay.
Oh, it went that direction? I just assumed it went the other direction.
No, I saw like an interview where he was just in the writer's room and they were like trying to find someone to play Roy and like throwing out names and stuff like that. And then he like sent them an email of him like recording himself of some of Roy's stuff and basically
his
said like
mannerisms and voice and stuff.
Yeah. And then was like, if you think this is a good idea, great. If not, we'll just never talk about this and just move on and pretend like it didn't happen.
Oh.
And then they liked it.
Oh, that's okay. That's great that it went that direction. But I think that maybe most good stories have characters that you see yourself in some degree or another.
Yeah.
Or you want to be like them, or you despise them because you see yourself, your own bad qualities in the things you despise about that character.
I think it's very hard to be a Ted.
Right. He's super hyperbolic. But then you kind of want to be like Ted.
Well, because he's genuine in his I don't know what it's, but just like his kindness.
Yeah.
An ability to empathize.
In this disarming one kind of way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who do you relate to?
Well, I really like a lot of the characters. I want to be like Roy Kent in that gruff kind of way and keep your feelings inside kind of way and see the development that is there.
Yeah.
And kind of like just grumpy way. And yeah, so that's the guy I keep thinking of as like a good, like not that, like, I don't think, I really want to be Roy Kent, but I think there's some fun attributes I want to kind of like carry with me that are Roy Kent.
Yeah. Yeah. When you say that, I kind of think of you always saying that you think you're Ron Swanson too.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They're very different.
Yeah. And I'm probably not like either of them, but I appreciate their no nonsense, not wanting to take any nonsense from anyone else kind of attitude. Also, I really, because I like Roy Kent, there's this sequence in the last episode where they're talking about how you can't be perfect. But then they do this funny thing where they start listing off all these perfect things. And each one of them is like, oh yeah, that is perfect. And that is perfect. And Roy Kent says, and Billy Joel's The Stranger album.
It's a good album.
Right. And I'm like, yeah, that is a perfect album. I am like you. It was just so great that he picked that one in particular.
Yeah.
Okay. So talking about characters, there's kind of some questions that we've left unanswered. What's your favorite relationship in the, or notable relationship in the series?
Do you mean like
any of the above?
So not particularly like romantic relationship.
Yeah, because there's a lot of, that's what I think is interesting, is there's lots of relationships.
I loved the development of Roy and Jamie's relationship. Especially in this past season. Yep. I don't know. They started off like season 1, like totally hating each other and then finding some common ground. And like season 2, Jamie asking Roy to coach him.
That was in season 2?
Well, like it was like not that kind of like training him way, but they were like, he was like, I want you to give me notes.
Yeah.
And make me better.
Yeah.
And then Yeah. And then they started like, that's when they gave Jamie the signal
Yeah.
of like when he could be like
Great scene.
like a total jerk on the field and not be like a team player and go back to his original style.
Yeah.
And then this past season, like Jamie teaching Roy how to ride a bike and like
forgot about that.
Yeah, just being and like I liked that kind of growth for both of them, and I think that was an important kind of way for them both to develop.
Yeah. Oh, good answer. Yeah, what a good answer. Yeah. Oh, since you're not asking me what.
Oh, I can't ask you.
No, but I was trying to think. I think that's a really good relationship, but I can't think of another one. Well, I think Ted and Rebecca, like, because that's not romantic. Like, you kind of worry maybe that it could be romantic.
Yeah, I got very worried.
Yeah,
at multiple points that they were trying to make it romantic.
Yeah, but I think they just kind of inserted that tension there because it wouldn't have worked or it wasn't right. I don't know. Maybe some people thought it should be there or expected it. Including the opening scene of the last episode.
Yeah.
Which was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we've only watched that once, and now I feel like that's an episode I would go back. I think we could watch the whole series again.
Yeah, I've seen season 1 a lot. Season 2, like half of it.
Okay.
At least twice.
I think I want to go back and see that last episode. Maybe I should have done that to prepare for this. But yeah, I think I would watch that first. But yeah, I could go back and watch multiple things multiple times. But yeah, to the point of Rebecca and Ted's relationship, like they're not romantically involved, but there's a development, just kind of like you described with Roy Kent and Jamie Tart.
Yeah, and like intimacy without being like romantic intimacy, but just like, I don't know what I mean.
Yep.
Just like,
well, that sounds
like being able to be fully, completely yourself with the people and have just good friendship, which is just good.
Sounds pretty good.
Do you have a favorite line or quote from this show?
There's so many that I'm still just so delighted that they referenced the Billy Joel The Stranger album from Roy Kent of all people. But there's so many great one-liners, many of which are meaningful, but the one that I keep flashing back to and giggle is in the first season when they there's some kind of issue, dilemma, problem, and it's in some kind of conversation, and Ted just makes reference to dogs, and Sam says, "Coach, is it true that there are dogs in America that get
put down for no reason?"
Yeah, and go without homes and put down for no reason. And Ted immediately responds with, "Yes, but there's plenty of female singer-songwriters
who are trying to change that."
Yeah. And it just goes by so quickly.
Yeah. I think I just rewatched that episode. I think because it's like, I think they're referencing Danny and calling him a raven-haired golden retriever.
Oh, yes.
Or something like that.
Yeah. Which is such a good description.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that just comes out and then it's like gone.
And Sam and Roy are standing next to each other and they just nod and then they move on with like breaking the curse or something like that.
Yeah, that was really funny.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite line?
I I have a lot of favorite lines. I think the one I quote the most is from the very first episode where Rebecca is showing Ted the like accomplishments of the club and how like explaining how the field was used for like recruiting, like the military past of the club, and how like some people think that there's ghosts.
Yeah.
And then she asks Ted if he believes in ghosts, and he says, "Oh yes, I do, but more importantly, I think they should believe in themselves."
Yeah.
And how they just move on from that.
And she just has that kind of look on her face of incredulousness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There's so many but that's like what makes the show great, but that's not what the show is about. And that's not what makes the show great, but it also makes the show great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and also I think it's in that same episode that your line came from, but when they're talking about how with Jamie and Danny, they have 2 aces, and how they fell out of the lucky tree or something like that and landed in a pile of cash and Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Hit every branch of the lucky tree and land in a patch of money.
Cash and Sour Patch Kids.
And Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
And it's not like it's just so random.
Yeah.
And it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they don't even, it's just good writing, and they don't need to focus on it for it to be good writing.
Yeah. Yeah. No laugh track, no pause, no, just keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite episode?
I think, I don't know. I love that episode with the dart scene.
Yep.
In season 1.
I was thinking of that one.
I also recently really liked the episode where they go to Amsterdam.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. 'Cause like all of them are doing different things.
Yeah. There's like some self-discovery and such.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of, I liked how this season they went into exploration of like Colin and his sexuality, and like that was important to see.
Yeah. And Trent Krim. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got Roy Kent. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Which I called from season 1. I'll just say.
Oh. Well, thanks for letting us know now.
I didn't tell you that? Okay, never mind. Because I always thought he was in love with Ted.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
But I don't know.
That's why he came across in such a kind of antagonistic way.
I don't know. Well, I thought that's why he was really interested in the club.
Okay.
Well, maybe that's just his team, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the writers could have spun it that way. Yeah, but he became an interesting character in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
But but you were saying the Amsterdam episode.
Yeah.
And the darts episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. The darts episode, I think that was just kind of, that's just one of those feel good kind of episodes you just want to watch over and over again.
Yeah. And I think it's where Rebecca kind of changes her mind a little bit on Ted.
Yeah. 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 Those are all good answers.
Do you have a favorite episode?
It could have been the darts of episode 1. At least that comes to mind. Maybe this last episode, which is kind of cliche, but it's like a lot of good things just kind of wrapped up, but not in what I liked about it is it wasn't like, it didn't have to make everything all sugar coated. Like
Yeah.
not everyone gets back together, and not,
yeah, it's not totally neatly tied up in a little bow.
Yeah. Not all the relationships are settled, or even, yeah. People who you think you might have wanted to be together aren't necessarily together. Yeah. So I thought that was just really well done.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also liked in this last episode, how much linking back there was to previous, like just so many past references.
I think that's why I want to see it again soon.
Yeah. Like even just Ted dancing with his team, which was just like a very short snippet in the very first episode, but it's like his thing. Yeah.
It all circles back. So there were a couple questions we started with that you wanted to skip.
Oh yeah, we can circle back.
Yeah. So, you're talking about characters you relate to. Did I ask you about best character?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that's...
I don't know if that's really a different answer.
Right.
I like all of them.
Sure.
Do you have a least favorite character?
Well, there's characters that you just hate, like, what's his name? Rebecca's ex-husband.
Oh, Rupert.
Like he's just kind of a jerk, and he kind of like becomes more two-dimensional as things go on.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a character that's just like obnoxious or non-consequential or like underwritten or something.
Yeah.
But I can't think of one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Each time I'm like going through different characters and I think, oh no, but they were really important. Yeah. And they were really important.
I don't love Jane Beard's partner.
Yeah. But I think you're meant to not.
Yeah, that's kind of the point.
Yeah. She's a writer too, I think.
Oh, is she? Well,
or a producer or something.
And so like Beard is a writer or director of some of them or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, and I think she's got, I should have looked this up. I didn't even think about it until just now. She's got some higher level operation.
Oh,
and I think
cool.
she like, the character is just kind of a side gig.
Oh, okay.
Which kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
How sporadic she is.
Yeah, she's more mentioned than anything else.
I think May is an underrated character.
I like May.
Yeah. It's fun to see her coming back. Okay. Here's a controversial statement.
Okay.
I didn't really like Ted's mom.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. That's just done.
Well, I think...
Just wait for the hate mail.
I see her purpose.
Yeah.
But I also see Ted's frustration.
Yeah, it was funny to see his mannerisms in her and his frustration. But it was a little heavy-handed, I thought.
Yeah. Well, also, like, that's the only time he swore, like, through the whole show was with her.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just, like, extra... Like, he's never upset in that way.
Yeah.
And then with her, he is. So.
But there was a point to it, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oops.
Okay. Yeah. Nice. Keep the studio sound clean.
I'll stop playing with
Okay.
stuff.
No fidgeting. Okay. So we talked about characters. And I had, we talked about best relationships.
Mm-hmm.
What was your favorite, or what's the best plot development in the series?
Plot development.
Like, Trent Krim goes from antagonistic to friend of Ted's, and then loses his job because he's loyal to Ted, or Rebecca's development from wanting to tank the team to wanting it to succeed, or Nate turning upstart to evil to brought back.
His story was so sad.
Yeah.
Like, to the point where I didn't really trust him anymore, even when he did turn back good.
Yeah.
But I'm not Ted, so.
Right. And then that connection to Beard and the forgiving Nate because he saw himself. That might have been a little contrived, but it was a good piece in there, I think.
Yeah. I don't know if I had a favorite.
I don't know how I'd answer this either. I just think it's interesting. There's all these little.
I think it's hard because the show is so character based.
Yeah.
Which is part of the reason why I like it, because I like character plots. But I think it's hard to find a development outside of like outside of an individual character or like a relationship.
Right. Huh. Maybe that's the whole draw. I'm trying to think if that's a specialty of Ted Lasso, or if that's just what makes all good plot developments.
Yeah.
Good.
I did like, this was just a season 3 or primarily a season 3 arc, but like Colin's arc was very nice to see, especially like watching it at school with my friends who are also queer, and like just seeing that representation of like him going from terrified of thinking about it and like even telling his friends to kind of being able to explore in Amsterdam what it's like going out and being open, and then like telling his teammates and like being able to be open with them, and then going to kissing his boyfriend in public after they win the game.
Yeah.
And like, I think that's a really important, like, it's not enough representation, but I think it's really good representation for like such a popular show.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I like Trent Krim's role in that.
Mm-hmm.
You think he might be, there's some nefarious, use this for the book and expose this thing.
Yeah.
But then it turns out to be an advocate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was very worried for a minute.
Yeah.
But then he turned out he stayed to being a good guy.
Yeah. That's pretty good. Okay. There's lots of other characters. Just flashing back to all these things.
Yeah.
Do you have any disappointment with the show?
I don't think so. Do you?
No, but so it's funny. I was just saying, like, I like how they didn't like settle all the things and, you know, tie up everybody.
Mhm.
But I think Roy and Keely should have been together. That would have been nice.
I think that, yeah, I think that they're cute together, but I also, yeah, I think they're good friends still.
Yeah.
And Keely, I think, has been able to grow a lot without Roy.
Hmm.
And I like them together, but also I think that, I don't know. I think that maybe they're at different spots.
Yeah. It doesn't need to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
They're both successful
Yeah.
and can find happiness without each other.
Yeah.
Sure. Well,
and they've got time.
Yeah. I wish them the very best. Okay. So speaking of, you kind of made this suggestion that sure, this seems like the final episode,
Mm-hmm.
but you have this sense of, oh, but it doesn't have to be. So what do you envision?
Well, I think this is probably the end of like Ted Lasso,
Yeah.
like the show Ted Lasso. But like, I'm wondering if like the note that Ted left on Trent's book has any, like, because he said change the title because it was never about me.
Mm-hmm.
And so like that feels interesting that like the show is called Ted Lasso. So the show is about Ted.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, I don't know. To me, that kind of opens up more stuff. Like even though he's back in the US, everyone else is still in the UK.
Could have a show called The Richmond Way or
something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, because like they haven't confirmed anything either way. So it like feels like the last episode.
Mm-hmm.
But then if like you look around online, no one knows, including, well, they might know, but they're not allowed to say. Like the actors are like, I don't know what's happening next.
I thought
like that kind
Brett
of stuff.
Goldstein, he's the only person I've seen on social media at all, but he kind of made reference to this was such a great thing, and now that it's over, it's thanks to all the people.
Yeah, they're all kind of wrapping it up. I've just seen like interview clips where they're like, so is this the last one? And they're like, I don't know, ask Jason Sudeikis.
Oh.
Like that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But I don't know. I think it's good where it is too.
Yeah. So if it did go somewhere else, where do you think it would go? Who would be included or focused on?
Probably a continuation of the team.
Yeah.
So like Roy as head coach.
Yeah.
Which
That makes
is
sense
cute.
to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it has to have Ted Lasso in it.
Yeah. Although like Sam moved on to be in the Nigerian team.
Yep.
So that might be kind of sad if he's gone.
Yep. But
everyone else is there.
Yeah.
It's like the ship of Theseus or something.
What?
It's like a psychology problem. Like if, so like the ship of Theseus is like an idea of like, okay, a boat goes away on a really long journey, and like at one point like the mast breaks, and so they like put in a new mast, and like throughout the journey, like every part of the ship is replaced. And so by the time it comes back to port, is it still the ship of Theseus?
Okay.
And so it's like this psychological, like psychological question of like what really makes something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. So, but they're not going on a boat.
Yeah, but if you take out Ted Lasso and if you take out other players,
yeah, I'd be totally happy if they didn't do anything else with it.
Yeah,
but I like those characters a lot.
I don't want them. I think a lot of the time shows will keep going because like they're making money and they don't actually have anything to do. So then it just kind of gets not good.
Yep.
So I just hope that they don't do that. And if they have like an actual idea, then they should do it. But
Yeah.
if it's just because people like it,
Yeah.
that's not enough.
But they could just like it and just keep watching it over and over again.
Yeah, you can just go back and watch the beginning again and then
Yeah.
just keep watching it, and then like all other shows that are done.
Yep. Yeah. I think I'll go back and watch that and go back and watch Cheers.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, it's a where everybody knows your name. Da, da, da.
Is that with the guy from The Good Place?
Yeah, Ted Danson.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good show. Except, I mean, there's some things that are pretty cringy.
Oh.
Yeah, like, as shows from the 80s are, but it's better than most.
I don't think that's where the bar should be. It's just better than most.
It's not a bar. It's just there are some genuinely funny things about it.
Yeah.
And good things about it. And then you hear some, it's got characters. I mean, it's sexist and racist in its moments, but I see it for, I don't know. You see it in a whole new light now. But there's other stuff that's really good about it still. We'll see if Ted Lasso holds up in the same way.
I don't know. At least right now it feels very good.
Yeah. How could it ever not be as good? How could it ever be diminished by new lenses?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because Ted will make a lot of references to, like, I don't know, typically left things.
Yeah.
Like he supports women, and I think he like supports abortion at one point. Yeah, it's like he makes a joke at one point that's like, I haven't seen anyone that upset with me since I wore a red hat to a Planned Parenthood rally. And it's funny because he was supporting the Planned Parenthood thing, but they think he's like wearing a MAGA hat.
Right. Yeah.
And another thing where they just kind of roll away with it.
Yeah, they just have it there. Yeah. Okay. Any last words about Ted Lasso? Things we've left out?
It's good.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. 4 stars out of 4.
Okay. If you want to learn how to be a better human
and soccer player,
a lot of the players are actual soccer players.
I've heard that. Yeah.
Which I think is cool.
Yeah.
Maybe I should play soccer.
Sure. You used to. I was your coach.
When you were Ted Lasso.
It was a disaster. Hardest job I ever had was the U8 youth soccer league coach. It's terrible.
You were Ted Lasso and I was Henry at the end of the season.
Yeah. No, you were never even close to that good. The team was terrible. They did not run in the right direction. Yeah. Another funny moment was Ted understanding what offsides is in the final episode and calling it, and that kind of coming all the way back.
Yeah.
And Beard giving him
money.
Yeah.
Which I don't remember if they made a specific bet on.
Yeah, I knew there were bets, but it just seems, I
don't remember that specific bet.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We could go on and like list all these different moments.
Yeah.
But we can sign out for now. Do a 10 questions episode in, I don't know, a few weeks.
Yeah.
Check in. And then put together your music list for our music review coming up.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right. This was fun.
Yeah. If you have thoughts, send them in.
I can't imagine the hate mail that's going to come in about how we characterize.
Or fan mail.
Yeah, it could go either way. Or it's okay if the mailbox is just empty. It's not a big deal.
Tell us how we are both like Roy Kent.
Right.
At dearmouthsounds@gmail.com.
Yep. That's what we just need some bolstering for that claim.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, good talking to you, Reed.
Yeah.
We'll see you. Well, so in real life,
now.
I'll see you quite a bit, but on the podcast, I'll see you later.
Okay.
And keep your feelings inside.
Thank you, muchacho.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.